Hey Aquarius, Empress Rose here. Welcome to your reading. I am starting off with the Oracle decks for an intuitive vibe of where we're going here, and then we'll move on to a more traditional tarot spread. If I don't catch a wavelength on this story, or on this video, if I don't catch a wavelength or storyline on this video, go check your other reader placements if you want. All right, let's see here. Make sure my top's on right. Okay, something's ending, but I don't think you wanted it anyway. But you are going to need to reconnect with yourself as this ends. So conclusions are within reach. So this is sort of like the bars of the jail doors shutting on something in the past, right? Our past, we can remember it, we can grow from it, we can learn from it, but we do need to acknowledge that it's in the past, and that it doesn't go forward with us. Maybe the lessons, we want them to go forward with us, but some of these experiences, we can leave them back there. We don't have to carry the burden of all of our past experiences with us forward all of the time. We want to be learning from them, but not necessarily reliving them every day. So something, conclusions are within reach, right? So this is going to be some effort on your part if you want to close something off. This to me talks about some kind of work, a little bit of work on your part is going to be needed, but it's possible. You can totally do this. You can totally have some closure here. Something's ending, and this is part of life. Things have to end, right? The heart squeezes out all of the blood, and then it can take in new blood. It squeezes out all of the blood, right? And it shuts off, and those valves shut so that there's no backflow. So this is a necessity of life. So this is a little bit of what's happening here. We have, it's time to release negativity. We have, so anything you've been worried about, defensive about, I want to say, like with this card here, it's done, and you don't need to, once it's done, you don't need to worry about anything, not anything ever again, but you don't have to worry about this thing. Releasing negativity, it's going to be okay. You're going to be okay. Any sort of negative thinking that you have, or defensiveness, as this thing closes off, you'll be able to relax a little more. Then we have get grounded, empaths, highly sensitive, connect with nature. This is time alone, clearly meditation. Meditation is absolutely crucial for getting in touch with what you really want, what you truly want, what your soul calls you to do. Because we also have answer the call, what is your soul calling you to do? Well, how we hear that is we get really quiet and we get in touch with ourselves, and we silence some of the noise around us. And I feel like something's ending, and then you have a new beginning, and you have a lot of choice and a lot of freedom here to respond now to whatever it is that you want to do, whatever it is that's calling to you. But you want to be hearing it, right? She's not like, she doesn't go from this meditative state into a group of people. I mean, this is really you thinking about what it is that you want next. Where do you want to go? And sky's the limit here. Dream big, but not just dream big as far as like what other people think you should be doing and dreaming. Dream big as far as like what your own soul is calling you to do. But it takes some quietness, right? What's the Indigo Girls song like? Something, but the lightness has a call that's hard to hear. So you got to get quiet, quieter than the call. But your soul is calling you to do something, and you need to be listening to it. So there's something, you're released from something from the past here, and sort of sky's the limit for what you want next after this. It could be just a project ending, or an art project ending, and what do you want to do next? So there's a newness here. There's a freshness. As this thing ends, you're sort of allowed to redefine what you want, right? And every morning we wake up, we have new possibilities to be a new person, to be to express ourselves differently than we have in the past. It's not easy necessarily, but this is saying, It's like one day is done and a new one begins. I know that's very simple sounding, but it's true. Something is done here, and a new day begins, and to greet that day with openness and positivity. Yesterday is gone. All right, Aquarius. This is your past, your present, your inner landscape, what's at issue, your environment, to-do list, possible outcome. I just think I need to, oh my goodness, I'd like to work with a deck without any swords in it whatsoever. Like, just what would that be like? So we have a lot of swords here. So swords are often difficulty. They can represent difficult truths, truth, learning, intellect, and communication. Those are our swords. That's what they're about. So we have, in your recent past, 4 of Swords. On a break, a pause, being laid off from a relationship. There's just been a break. This is for the purpose of renewal. In fact, this does remind me of going to sleep, nap time. It's been nap time. It's not a death. It's a little death, like falling asleep is, a little ending. And it's for the purpose of rejuvenation, refocusing. This is basically... That card is basically this. Ending something, the end of the day, taking a nap, releasing, letting go, releasing into rest, and then for the purpose of revisioning and dreaming again for the future. So there's been a pause, a rest, maybe even some sickness. Sometimes this card can denote some sort of illness, some sort of sickness. I mean, but that again is a forced pause out of life. It's a forced pause, chosen pause. There's been a pause here, and there's been a pause for pretty much everybody. Well, no, everyone's had different experiences of this pandemic. So some people have been put on pause, and some people have been put on, their lives have gone crazy, blasting, depending on what you were doing, what your job was, what your position was. But there's been a break for you on something. Could be a relationship break, too. So then we have, it's a softness. It's a softness within this difficult suit of swords, which is almost all you've got here. This difficult suit of swords, there's a softness here, and there's been a soft moments, that have helped you revision, and awake from this nap, refreshed and renewed, and with a new idea. That's the intent of the rest. But this 4 of Swords talks about just a rest, basically. 6 of Wands, right now we have sort of parade, very public parade energy here. You may have accomplished something and people are happy for you. Your accomplishments benefit your community. This is a victory parade. Everybody's very happy. Everyone's happy that this war has been won, this battle has been won. And you come through surrounded, celebratory energy. I want to say picnic, potluck energy of just a lot of celebration and accomplishment. You've come through. It's almost like you took the nap before the victory lap. Like, here's your nap, here's your little victory lap going on right here. But both of these denote a return from a battle, right? And this one is, I'm just going to rest right here and rest up from this battle, from this work, from this effort. And that's in your recent past. Okay, now I'm ready to go out. Now I'm ready to have the parade and receive the accolades. And so you've done something and it's being cheered on. It's being rewarded. There's some sort of celebratory feeling in the air here. Effort's been put in. I still see you as being fairly serious here, actually. And it's almost like the party, other people can party, other people can celebrate, but you're still very focused. It's like you woke up from this nap a little bit focused. And then your hopes, your fears, your inner landscape, what you're thinking about, King of Swords. So this could be someone on your mind or just an energy that you're thinking about. This is someone with some mastery over their own mind, over their own thoughts. They're very fair. They're very, very balanced. See, he holds the sword of truth and understanding and communication with both hands. It's very fair, very balanced. He has a handle on both sides of the situation. This is someone who's very intelligent and can see both sides of a situation, both aspects here. They're able to see that all and bring that all together, synthesize various stories and desires. They see the truth, but they can also temper it with some sort of mercy and grace. And they're able to communicate very clearly, very precisely. So this could be someone you're thinking about who's very smart, very intelligent. They're on your mind. This could also be an energy that you're wanting to get more into being more able to see both sides of the story, more able to communicate clearly what you think, having some sort of mastery over some sort of information, maybe thinking of getting a master's degree or something like that. There's like a desire for more mastery, more understanding, clarity, and better communication. And then what's at issue here is Six of Swords. This is not moving on, not moving forward. You may be tired of a situation. I mean, what's interesting is we have the Six of Wands, the celebratory energy, and this rest energy, but they're still not moving on. So in the upright, you'd be moving away from something that's been very unsatisfactory for you, and leaving it behind, taking the lessons with you, leaving behind the rest of it, right? This conclusion, these would match, if this was upright, these would match perfectly. Conclusions within reach, releasing negativity, leaving a place of difficulty and negativity. But in the tarot part of this reading, we're seeing you not having done that, feeling this is just like, I don't care what happens next. There's a storm out here. I don't know if you can see the storm. You can see a little bit of, there's a storm out here on the open ocean, and this guy doesn't care. He's just ready to go, ready to leave, does not care that he's heading into a storm, whatever storm. I'd rather have a storm at sea than deal with what's on this land. This is the refugee card, but this is the refugee that's not leaving, and I see why you're not leaving, or later on, but this is not leaving a difficult situation behind, still staying in that difficult situation. There may be a boat, there may be the capability of leaving, but there's not not yet ready to leave, maybe not thinking that you can leave the situation. You can, though. This is saying it's going to take effort on your part. You can, though. You can leave a negative, bad situation, but you're not. The safety of the shore and the known. It's not, you don't like it. You don't like the place, but it's safe, and it's, there's a storm out at sea. Why would you go out there? But you're not leaving something that's really difficult for you. Other people might have left by now, but you're staying, or somebody's staying here. In the environment, we have Two of Swords. We have very stubborn energy, stuck energy, blocked energy, a very stuck situation. Intuition is back here calling, but it's being ignored. There's a very stubborn blocking energy. So there could be something blocking your path, blocking your way, wanting to leave, but feeling blocked about that. Something in your environment that doesn't allow this freedom of movement. Maybe you don't actually have a boat available to you. Maybe you, there's just something, there's a block in your environment. This can be stubborn energy, stagnant energy, denial energy. There can be a sense of denial here, refusing to see something. And what's interesting is the very next card, also refusing to see something. Both of these people have blindfolds on, and both of them could take their blindfolds off. Neither one of them is being blinded by anything other than themselves, really. So there's just a refusal to see something, maybe a refusal to see the opportunity, or a refusal to see that you can leave, or you can, and I'm not necessarily talking about relationships. This could be jobs. This could be moving on from, maybe a project that you were successful in and you don't want to do it anymore, though. You don't want to participate in this anymore, but you don't think you can do anything else. Maybe there's a sense of not being able to do anything else. This could be, even though you want to, even though you're sort of done with this project and done with this trip and done with this, this could be a lot of different things. But there's something, there was a break, you accomplished something. I don't even know how enthusiastic you are about that accomplishment anymore. There's a wanting to move on, but not seeing how, feeling blocked, feeling like the environment isn't supportive of you, moving on to something else. There's a sense of wanting to see things a lot more clearly and wanting to be smart about your decisions. And hoping to be smart about your decisions. So in your to-do list, though, Aquarius, your to-do list, this is a hard one, actually. This is 8 of Swords. This is dealing with your own fears, your own self-limiting beliefs, right? This is my crappy mantra card. We all already have the mantras. We have the repetitive thoughts, the repetitive ideas already going through our mind. So I love a good mantra because we already are doing repetitive thoughts. We already have mantras. You don't have to believe in them or not. You already have them. So so this is choosing new ones. Right? But this card is self-limiting beliefs, right? I'm surrounded by swords. No, actually, there's just swords on one side. You're free to go. You're free to leave if you want to. There's just swords on one side. The other side's wide open. Oh, there was a comic I saw by Nick Galifianakis, I think. Anyway, it was this this big knight. And maybe I'll post it on the community page. This big knight, and he was in armor, and he's like, okay, you can either like solve my riddle, deal with a fire-breathing dragon, and fight me, or you can use the unlocked door over there. So this is like not realizing there's an unlocked door. Like this whole, yeah, sure, half the path is blocked, but there's this whole forward thing that can happen. You can just walk away. And her bonds are not really tight. They're very loose. And the blindfold, she could take it off. So the 8 of Swords, the whole point of this is this card is feeling trapped when you're not actually trapped. The trap is literally just in your mind, just in your head. You're not actually trapped. You are free. You can escape. There's a boat on the shore. You can't see it, though, because you keep having blindfolds on. And so it is a little bit of a call out on your own mental hygiene, mental health, mental processes and we all have them. So there's really no shame in it. Shame just prevents us from moving forward and growing. It's a fairly useless feeling. So there's no shame in it. It's just we all have these repetitive thoughts. So this is something that you're telling yourself that you're stuck and that you can't. It's almost like sleep paralysis with this, like, which is just sort of, it's a thing that usually happens with teenagers. More like, but with this 4 of Swords, this nap and like being unable to wake up from the nap, like part of you is awake and part of you wants to leave, and the other part of you is like almost physically stuck in this sleep paralysis state where you are having sort of you're aware, but you can't, your body's still asleep, but your mind might be awake. And this is almost like that, but almost the opposite, where your mind is asleep, but your body's awake. Some part of you is ready to leave and move on, and some part of you just can't see how to do that, even though it's there. It's there and it's available to you to answer the call, right? So maybe the trick here is reframing it, not from leaving something behind, but to answering a call. What's your soul calling you to do? And don't say you don't know, and don't say you don't know how to do it, and don't say that these are all, I would say, like with this leave negativity behind, stop focusing on what you're leaving behind and start focusing on what it is you want and heading towards that. That can be a little bit of a trick around this situation, even if because mantras can take a little while, and you have to have a mantra that you believe. And so we kind of scooch through the mantras. We don't leap into the giant mantras of, you know, I am a holy divine being or whatever. Like, we don't necessarily need to go, because we'll create resistance, right? So we have to just scooch our mantras to a little bit better. We have to believe them, right? But one thing is just focusing on what you do want. Just focusing, getting in touch with what you do want and moving towards something, because you're having difficulty moving away from something. So moving towards something, releasing the negativity around that can't happen. And as you move towards something, something else will close. Something will close down here. So, and then possible outcome. This is like such a cheat on these cards, because I just feel like this is the tarot. High Priestess is the tarot to me. She'll reveal what she wants and she won't reveal what she doesn't want. And this to me is always a message of, okay, we've got some partial revelations here, but I'm not going to tell you where this is going. I'm not going to tell you. Either I just had this, either it's too complicated to talk about, or you wouldn't go, or you would go and you'd skip a couple crucial steps as you go, right? You wouldn't go through the directions of how to set this up step by step. You would just try to skip to the end. So first step is really dealing with some negative thinking. Time to release negativity, some negative thinking, releasing that. I think one of the ways, because it's blocking you, or something is blocking you, but half of that's your mind and half of that's something in your environment. So we're just going to work with your mind right now, meditating and focusing on what you do want, because we're having difficulty leaving this. You might actually physically be blocked from leaving that and not see a way forward. And here you're not seeing a way forward, but we're going to work with just the mind aspect of this and just going towards what you want. Going towards something that you want, something that your soul is calling you to do. And it doesn't have to be what you want, all caps. You know, it can be like something that you want, just move towards it. One exercise, I really love Martha Beck's book, The Joy Diet. It's not about food. And it's about daily practices. And one of the things she recommends is just going to the beach and picking up a rock that you like and getting in touch with your intuition and your desires through very simple, I mean, because these all get shut down pretty easily in our society. So going to the beach and selecting, you know, the rock that you want, that calls to you. It's a very simple exercise, but it helps remind you how to pick out what you want, how to say what you want, how to grab for what you want or reach for what you want. Because so many of us, that gets shut down at some point, and life becomes a series of shoulds and not a series of wants and co-creation with the universe. So what's your soul calling you to do? Let's just do some work on our own self-limiting beliefs, and hopefully this will clear up eventually. But there is a physical block, something that's blocking you, but it's both internal and external. So your job right now is just deal with the internal blockages. And where we're going, tarot doesn't want to tell you. It doesn't want to talk about it. It will reveal some things and not other things. And that's its right. All right, so I hope that this was helpful for you, Aquarius. Thank you so much for your likes, subscribes, and comments.